You've seen them at picnics, wandering around your kitchen, and in the garden. Ants, they seem to be everywhere, and we are lucky that they are, as are one of the most abundant animals on Earth, and their contribution to our ecosystems are important. Ants are complex insects that live in large social groups called colonies. As insects, ants have a hard outer body called an exoskeleton and three body parts: head, thorax, and abdomen. Ants have two pairs of appendages on their heads: the mandibles, used for creeping or fighting, and massively used for breaking up food into small bits for swallowing. Typically, ants have two compound eyes containing 6 to 1,000 lenses. Though in some species the eyes are reduced or even non-functional. These eyes can only see objects close up but are very good at detecting motion. Their head has antennae, which are used for touching, feeling, smelling, and tasting. Ants also use the antennae to communicate with one another and keep the colony running smoothly. An ant legs are attached to its thorax. Each leg has 9 segments and 2 claws for gripping whatever the ant is climbing. The ant's abdomen hosts the digestive organs, including the crop, which can be used to store food for the colony. Hail to the queen. Most ant colonies live in nests on, or under the ground, or in trees, but some ant species live in clusters, not building any nest at all. Most ant colonies have a queen, large numbers of female worker ants, and occasionally some males. The queen's only job is to lay eggs, and this she does throughout her entire life. But how does she begin her reign? And young queen lays her birth colony on her first and only fly with a number of winged males. Males are only produced for mating purposes and do no work harder than to fertilize virgin queens. Mating flights typically include neighboring ant colonies, and the signals for this coordinated nuptial swarm are still not fully understood. After the queen and males mate, the males die. The young queen now finds good site to make her nest and start her colony. She risks the wings of her body as she no longer needs them for her new life. Some ant colonies do not have queens at all, and several species use a different way to start a new colony in addition to having a founding queen. In many primitive ant species, certain workers become egg layers and mate with males inside the nest to continue the colony after the queen dies. And many species of ants have several queens, either at the nest founding stage or for the length of the colony's life. Born to work, a queen ant lays thousands, sometimes millions, of eggs in her lifetime. Workers move the eggs to brood chambers in the nest, where they hatch into larvae and are fed until they turn into the pupa. The process that determines what kind of ant a young larvae becomes is still not well understood, but it is thought to involve the type of food and chemical signals that they receive from their sisters. Talk about teamwork. Ants really know how to work well together. Recent research has shown that ants in the nest change jobs regularly, and some spend a good deal of time doing nothing at all. The jobs within the colony are the same for all ant species. Workers must feed and care for the young and the old important queen, provide food for the colony, defend the colony, and maintain the nest. Keeping the nest clean of waste and the bodies of their members is important for the health of all. Call out the cavalry, while all workers defend the nest as needed. And many species have specialized workers called majors also known as soldiers. These ants are larger than the other workers and have specialized mandibles for fighting, moving large objects, and crushing tough food items like seeds. However, it has been shown in some species that the kind of ant sent to defend the nest depends on the type of intruder. Invasions by other ant species of similar size bring the smaller workers running. Bird disturbances from larger animals call out a cavalry of soldiers, which are better equipped to stop tender flesh and encourage the predator to look elsewhere for food. Say what? An ant colony may have up to 8 million individuals at any one time. So a communication system is important for keeping everyone and everything organized. Ants release scent, called pheromones from glands on their body. Each pheromone is a special scent message that is read or received through the antenna of the other ants in the colony. Many different kinds of information can be communicated this way. A central can be left on the ground to lead other workers to food source. Ants in the colony can smell each other's rank and can sniff out the presence of an intruder. Ants even have an alarm sent to alert the colony to danger. That, that ants have a scent that signals the cleanup workers to remove the body from the nest, keeping it clean and free of disease. The ability of ants to make decisions based on the chemical composition of their nestmates is a fascinating topic of study. Researchers are finding that an ant can sweep her antenna over the body of her sister and determine tastes like her reproductive status and whether or not she should have with a particular task for the colony. It has all kinds. Ants use an amazing variety of food items and have bizarre nesting behaviors. Some are considered farmers, some gather seeds and insects, and others are stray predators. Species that farm generally have a stable nest site and use areas of the nest to do their farming. For example, leafcutter and spring leaves into the nest, and these leaves are then used to grow the fungus that the ants eat. Good ants protect and hurt nectar sucking insects such as aphids, then milk them. Then when the ants choke the aphid's body, a sweet liquid called honeydew comes out. Honeypot ants collect water, nectar, and insect fluids when available in their desert ecosystems. The liquid is fed to special worker ants called replies, which hang from the ceiling in the special nest chamber and store the nectar in their bodies. The replies' body is bent to hold the liquid, sometimes swelling to size of the crab. This stored food is used by all members of the colony during lean times. Army ants, the best known of hunting species, may number over 700,000 in colony. They travel to find insects, spiders, and even small mammals and reptiles to eat. The only time they stop marching and rest is while they are waiting for new eggs to hatch and pupa to emerge as adults. During this phase, the ants link their bodies together and form a living nest called a burrow, which protects the queen and her brood.